Welcome back to another episode of Ladies Let's Talk Business. I'm your host, Lacarius Thomas, and today we are talking about the business of womanhood, and not just in the way that you think. Let's meet today's guest, Miss Charlisha.
Hello.
Tell the people who you are, girl.
Hi, my name is Charlisha. I am, I used to call myself a creative entrepreneur.
Okay.
But I am learning that I am someone with no definition. I am someone who moves through photography, brand design, web design, e-commerce design, e-commerce management, creative direction, and digital illustration, and probably going into film. I wear a lot of hats. Okay. So
I want to go back to when we first met. I met you in the Memphis fashion scene. And even then, I think you were dabbling in fashion design or photography even back then.
Back then, I met you when I was modeling. Your show was the first fashion show in Memphis I was a model in. Yes, it was.
Oh, okay. So you said in Memphis. So I know you are not a Memphis native. You're
Right.
from Chicago, right?
I am from a northern suburb of Chicago called North Chicago.
Okay. So it's a suburb called North Chicago.
Correct. Just like West Memphis is not.
To Memphis.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. I never knew that.
Yeah, we're like 45 minutes north of Chicago.
Okay.
Kind of like directly in between Chicago and Milwaukee.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's dive into it. Womanhood. It means a lot of different things for a lot of people. Sometimes they'll just say womanhood is tied to you being a mom, a wife, a daughter. What does womanhood mean to you?
Womanhood means to me, it's more of an attitude.
Okay.
And it's like a lifestyle. Not only it is about being a mother, a daughter, a sister. It's also about how you move in community, and how you kind of nurture the people that you love, and how you take up for the community as well.
I love that community. I know for so long, us as Black women, we have been the backbone of the community. We're always the go-to source. We're everything. We're the mom, we're the neighborhood mom, the auntie. You know, we show up for everyone and everybody. And I know that you do have kids of your own. How has your womanhood changed from mothering small kids and maybe their friends to mothering adults now?
Oh, so currently my oldest is 27.
Okay.
And my
Now, you look
youngest
good, girl, to have a 27-year-old
Thank
now.
you.
Okay.
and my youngest is 19. And that mothering adult children is very different from mothering small children. And some people believe that once they become a certain age, that it gets easier, and it actually doesn't. It gets harder.
changes.
Well, no, correct. It changes. It doesn't necessarily get harder. There's things that I worry about that I didn't have to worry about when my son was younger and in the house. He's 23 now. Almost every time he walks out the house, I'm wondering, what's going to happen in the streets. Same thing with my daughter, though. It's just not with him. I am always concerned with what they're doing, and how safe they are in the streets, because they are so independent. And they don't have to come home every day. And that sometimes can make you stay up at night a little bit, or you're worried a little bit, like, are they okay?
And I'm glad you said that, because I told my sister-in-law that when we have an adult child too. I was like, for me, it's a little bit more difficult parenting a grown child, because you have to give them this freedom and space, like you said, like, oh, you don't have to come home, but you also still have to guide them. And where when they're 8, 9 years old, you can tell them, do this, do that, don't do that. But when they're grown, it's like, I can tell you, but I can't control what you do. And not even that you control what they do as kids. You give guidance and they listen. With them being adults and you not having as much control or having the reins on them, has that affected your view as being a mother, or just your life?
I don't think it really has affected my view as a mother. I have raised some amazing beings. And it's times when I don't think they listen to me, and there are things that they do out in the world, and I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, they listened. They heard me." Or they'll call and be like, "Ma, what you said was right," or "I'm doing this," and I'll be like, "Well, you know what? I told you to do that a long time ago." It's one of those things where I feel confident that I've guided them to be successful young adults. But it's times when, it's just sometimes you do question your mothering sometimes. But as a woman, you kind of understand that you did the best that you could in nurturing those beings, and you allowed them to grow up to be who they wanted to be versus who you wanted them to be.
Yes, exactly. So if there's any new mom, pregnant, and they have the 1-year-old now, and they're so worried about, being a mom or just growing into their womanhood, what's some advice you would give them? Because I know it can be scary. You're 20 and you taking care of yourself, you're finding yourself, and then here's a baby.
I
What would you tell
will
them?
let them know that, it's okay not to have all the answers because you don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the age I am now, I'm still finding that I am learning new ways of how I am a woman. And I'm also learning that my mom didn't have all the answers, and I have realized as I have matured that some of the decisions that she made or that my guardian made at the time wasn't um in spite of me. It was for me, and it's just that we are all learning at the same time. No one has instructions. So we're just going with the flow.
So you said that you're still discovering things about your womanhood now. What are some of those things? And what led to that discovery?
Well, I can tell you, I am at the age of 45 and
Wait, have you started having the perimenopause?
I was going to say that perimenopause is going to come up. I actually been having symptoms now that I've learned more about it. I think I probably started at about 38, 37 with having some symptoms now that I think back to it. But I think that's mainly where I'm at now. So me thinking about how I felt in those years, and then I'm here and I'm like, you know what? This whole time I've been going through some changes and my body is changing.
Perimenopause ain't no joke. So my fellow sister and Perry, I feel you. I was at work Friday and we were having a conference and everybody's like, "Oh, it's cold in here, it's cold." And I'm sitting there with a sleeveless top on and I'm like, it feels great to me. I mean, they are bundled up. So the hot flashes for me been very real.
Yes.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
I haven't gotten there yet. I get warm flashes and cold flashes, but not necessarily hot. But I have been taking time with myself, going through those changes and just trying to think about, well, how would my mother or grandmother have handled these situations? And a lot of it has a lot to do with my mother passed when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
So I was raised by my aunt, but we are really not that close right now. It's kind of like when I turned 18, I was like, bye, deuces. And I ain't really look back. So
was the relationship always like that or was it?
No, it's just that I just wanted to get about the house and be on my own.
Okay.
I would say that our relationship was strained because I think I was angry that my mama wasn't around. And here you are trying to take care of me. And I'm like, probably a little troubled youth at the time because I'm dealing with some trauma.
You're dealing with that trauma.
Right. So, so it's not like I had anyone to talk to really about my changes. So I'm going through this journey feeling alone. And in that, I am discovering things about me and rediscovering things about me as well, because I am going back to thinking about, well, I think I remember I saw my mama do this, or I think I remember I saw my grandma do this. And now I'm going down this memory lane, and it's like a lot of the feelings of who I used to be at one point in my life is coming back.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm like I'm discovering things. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot that I used to like to do these things, or I forgot that this was. Oh, I love this song, you know. And a lot of times when I'm doing the memory recollection, I do it through music. So I will play old 90s music and old 80s music just to see like what comes up, or if there's anything that triggers a memory that would help me remember, you know, something that my mama would have done back in, you know, 1990 or 1989. That was so long ago. So a lot of times I need a little help with triggering those memories. So I would use music to do that.
So with your mom passing at such an early age, how did that affect your view on womanhood? I know you said that you had your aunt and your grandmother was around, but having mom, you know, moms are our go-to. There are safe spaces in most cases for most people. Um, and when that relationship isn't there, it causes a disconnect. I know for me, I was raised by my grandmother.
Okay.
My mother is alive. She's around. She was just a young mom. You know, by the time she was 19, there were three of us. And so it was easy for me to go live with my dad's parents. But I always had this yearning, wanting my mother. So, and I know it affected me how I view womanhood. Did you have the same experience?
Yes, I moved in masculine energy for a very long
Oh,
time.
wow.
My dad was still around, and I always was a daddy's girl, but I don't think I was a tomboy until I had to harden up, and I believe I had to. I hardened up because of the trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a way to protect myself, to show no emotion at all. Like, you know, nothing phases me.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it made me move in an energy that was not feminine or
Okay.
what some people might consider like a woman at all. I was very much, you know, still loved makeup and dressing up in fashion, but I just kind of moved different in how I um, interacted with
You were
people.
protecting yourself in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, and so it kind of people labeled me as crazy part. People thought I was a stud. Like at one point in my life,
Really?
seriously, they
I
thought
you
I.
never gave me stud, honey.
At one point in my life, people thought that I was a lesbian because of the energy that I moved
Okay.
in. Until I was like, nah, you know, I'm just like I like to be comfortable. You know, if
Right.
I wear sneakers to the club, it's because I'm
You wanna
on
be
the dance
comfortable,
floor.
yeah.
I'm dancing. That's why. I'm
Yeah.
not about to dance how the way I dance in heels. But it was one of those things that, you know, it was just interesting. So when I did discover that that's what people viewed me as, I was like, wait a minute. Let me see on how it actually made me examine how I moved a little
Okay.
more, and it made me just realize that I was moving in a way I probably didn't really want to move in
Mhm.
as far as what people perceived me. So
Okay.
yeah.
And I wanna go back, you said that, you were very tough, this tough exterior. I know you're married, and you say you had very little feminine energy. How were you able to change it, or have you been able to change that going into being married?
I did change that. Actually, before I met my husband, um, it was moving to Memphis. One of those when I moved here, my aunt had told me and a few of my cousins, because we kind of did like a family transition. A few of us kind of
Okay.
all moved here around the same time from Illinois. And she was kind of like, you know, when you move, don't take that same person with you.
Mhm.
So when I came here, I was like, you know what? I am going to be different. And that's when I started modeling. And that actually helped me tap more back into my feminine energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Mhm.
You know, I tell people fashion, honey, it covers a whole lot of things. It's related, you know, so many different ways in culture. For me, it was a place, a thing that I used to relax. It gave me purpose, you know, when I was discovering myself and discovering my womanhood, you know, being married, young, kid. And then when fashion came along, I was able to fully develop and see who I was outside of husband and kids. So
Mhm.
I'm glad you had that space to kind of
Yeah.
find who you were.
Thanks to you.
So, I know too, this can kind of tie into the masculine energy for women when it comes to having freedom, when it comes to finances and just your spirituality. how have you been able to address that as a woman, having that freedom or that safeness or that security when it comes to finances and just all areas of your life, finance, your spiritual health, even your physical health?
Um, I think it is one of those things where I've been able to tap into that masculine energy when I want to make something shake, really.
Okay.
I think that's when I am doing my best. And it's when I am like really ambitious. I'm moving with passion and drive, and that does help me financially because that's when I'm getting paper. Like
Mhm.
I'm when I'm in that mode, I am probably the most financial stable, because I'm moving in that energy of I have to get out and get it.
Mhm.
One of the things I have found that when I do settle into my softness,
Mhm.
that's when I am a little bit. Uh, I'm not as out there as far as like promoting myself and hustling
Okay.
when I'm in soft mode because I've been in soft mode for probably like the past 5 years.
Okay.
With my husband, I'm just like, I'm being a well taken care of wife
Mhm.
at home.
Mm.
But at the same time, I do have my passions and my outlets with my art and my creative businesses. So
So when you and I love when Black women can live the soft life, like you say, you can depend on your spouse, and you can live a life of luxury and softness. I enjoy that. I love it.
Mhm.
Why do you think so many Black women sometimes we push away from that? We feel like we have to. I have to work. I have to do this. I'm not going to depend on a man, or even if they have a husband that's there, that's a provider. We still sometimes kind of, we have to still bear the weight and carry it all.
Ooh, I think that goes all the way back to slavery. I like
Mhm.
to refer slavery a lot when I talk about the causes of things,
Mhm.
especially within our community and our society. But I believe that goes back to the men being taken from the women.
Mhm.
During that time, we had to learn how to be independent and we had to learn how to rely on ourselves because we didn't know when master was going to sell off our husband.
Mhm.
We didn't know when, you know, he was gonna try to run or the mask gonna do something to him and disable him and he can't work or whatever. So it's like we had to find ways to make sure that we were reliant on ourselves.
Mhm.
And that was making sure we had our own ways to make money, making sure we were able to take care of our kids on our own, making sure we was able to make sure we had shelter
Mhm.
on our own because of the ramifications of the systematic racism that we experienced. And that has carried on throughout generations.
Mhm.
You learned to be what some maybe label strong Black woman from your mama and from your grandmama and from her mama. It's
Mhm.
like it's been passed down.
It's a generational thing.
It very much is. And it's because we had to learn how to be reliant on ourselves. And even after slavery, we want to say, it was so many instances in history where Black men were torn from homes on purpose.
Mhm.
And that has hardened us to the point where we don't want to have to deal with the pain of losing your partner. But also we got to make sure we got to take care of ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
this is true.
we are hard.
What are some things we can do to soften ourselves? We know this is a generational thing, and we know we have to take care of ourselves. And I always believe a woman, should, if she can, be the true helpmate. If her husband, falls on hard times, she should be able to come in and step and take up. Um, but for those who just need some help softening and stepping into that womanhood, what would you suggest they do?
So one of the things that I did was what makes me feel pretty? I'm going to do that today. So a lot of times it is internal
Mhm.
for us. And it could just simply be, I want to look good. And do your hair, get your nails done, do your makeup, whatever it is that makes you feel pretty.
Mm.
Put on some jewelry, put some rings on your fingers, put on a new outfit, whatever. That's like one of the first steps I can say you can do to get in that softness, because you need to feel soft, first of all. And then, meditation is another way. Get that stress up off you.
Yeah.
Because the stress hardens you because you're trying to figure out how to make everything work. And it's making your mind go a mile a minute.
Yeah.
And you don't have time for rest. Rest.
Rest is needed at all times. And I think we don't do that as women, especially as Black women. We don't take the time for ourselves. I know for me, if I get overwhelmed, if it's been a rough day at work, I go home and tell my folks, I'm tired, take me a hot shower, I close the bedroom door, and I watch TikTok until I fall asleep. And that is my way to decompress and de-stress from the day. And it may be like after an hour of quiet time. How some people say they just sit in the car to regroup when they get home. Rest, ladies. We don't have to bear the weight of the world all the time on our shoulders. We have community. And how have you been able to build community? Not being a Memphis native, how have you been able to build a community of women that you can go to interact with? And
it's been took me a while.
Really?
I think to a genuine, authentic community that I feel safe in. I think I've just recently found that here in Memphis. But it was a lot of just getting out, networking, meeting people, getting involved in events and organizations. And then seeing where you fit in the best and where the good energy is, really, And I think that has helped me a lot, just being out and about, and building community. I hate to say it because I'm not one of these people, but get vocal. Someone will not know if they like you if they don't know you. And if you want friends and you're in the house all the time and you don't go out and you don't say nothing, how do they know that you're a good person? How do you go make a friend? So, I was one of those people where most of my business was online, and I built my community, and my audience through being vocal and saying what was on my mind. So, yep.
When you were trying to make friends, and I know as we age, it's easy to make friends as kids sometimes, but going to an adult, into adulthood sometimes, especially with women, we're judging off appearance, what somebody else said. Did you see that in adulthood, trying to make friends and build that community?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
So the mean girls never stop.
No, they don't. They don't stop. And then you might find yourself being that mean girl.
Oh, wow.
Well,
I think a lot of mean girls don't know that they're mean girls. They just think that,
They don't know. Actually, I don't think they do. And that's what I meant. Like, you might find yourself. So, being one of those people who say you are someone who doesn't have a lot of friends and things like that. I have a critical eye. And I think that's the artist in me and the creative in me. When I look at something, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty. But I see this. I always see something. And moving in that space, you can look at your friend. You be like, man, her hair messed up right there. But are you gonna tell her or not? Because a friend was gonna say, hey, girl, let me fix you up real quick.
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna sit there and just snicker about it and be like, that's that mean girl energy that can come through, even when you're not intentionally trying to be mean, but that energy can still carry. So you just gotta kind of be mindful of that and then be genuine. Like, if that's someone that you consider your friend, if you can't tell her that her hair is messed up, is y'all really friends?
Exactly.
And that's probably not the circle for you.
So, again, going back to our age thing, because we're both around the same age. We didn't grow up with social media, but we have been thrown into social media, especially around the time, I think, when I got online, a lot of the women were basically naked online. They were showing any and everything. And I know it's even more so now. Did that affect you or how you viewed yourself as a Black woman? Because I know for us as Black women, we're, if we do one thing that someone else is doing, we're deemed as the lowest of the low, or how dare she? It's like we're held to this higher standard.
No, it didn't affect me at all. I think because At one time, I did move in that energy
Okay.
of masculinity for a little while, or not masculinity, but that hard energy, where I was numb and I didn't
Mhm.
care. No, it didn't bother me, as far as, like, seeing or expecting to present myself a certain way
Mhm.
online. Um, and even because at that time, I was modeling when we all kinda got
Yeah.
really hip on social media, so, it didn't I don't think it fazed me at all, but it did make me aware of how much attention one gets,
Mhm.
and what kind of attention one gets when they present themselves online a certain way.
Yeah. And I think that's important for our younger ladies and women to understand that you're viewed a certain way. Once you put that image out or that video out online, people will latch onto that. And then to them, that's who you are defined as, even though you're completely different, but that's who you're stuck being in this person's mind.
Yeah, they immediately would judge you off of that. So, and it's weird because your um womanhood is questioned as
Hmm.
soon as you put your image on the internet. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. You could be fully clothed and somebody's
Hmm.
still gonna say something about you. They're either gonna say, "Oh, look at her. She's fully clothed and
Hmm.
she still can present herself as a woman," or they're gonna say, "Look at her. She ain't got no clothes on. She ain't really a woman at all. She's a whatever you want to
Hmm.
call." But it's one of those things where you're gonna be judged no matter what.
For those younger than us and who may care, they're just in the beginning of it, of finding themselves and they're thrust into this social media world and they're comparing themselves to other women. What advice would you give them?
I would give them to get really in tune with yourself
Mhm.
and get grounded with knowing who you are, because that's the only perspective that truly matters, is how
Mhm.
you feel about yourself. When you are concerned about how other people feel about you, you are going to create a block to your blessings,
Mhm.
because you're going to end up being too afraid to even show up at all.
Mhm. I love it. I love that. That's solid advice. That is sound advice, ladies. So, yes. Business.
Mhm.
You do all the things.
Mhm.
Tell the people everything that you do. You're an artist,
Yes.
but tell us everything that's included in that art.
Oh, so, I said before that I have moved through several aspects, in the fashion industry in Memphis and in business, and my lifestyle brand, No Definition, is probably the best example of all the things that I do because I wore all the hats.
Mhm.
And so No Definition is a lifestyle brand for and inspired by Black women. Um, I took
Mhm.
what is probably the most desired thing that a woman would ask for and made it a business. So that's comfort. No Definition is all about knowing yourself, defining it with style, but also being comfortable with it too. That was really my aesthetic and it's how I move. I made it so that you can wear sneakers and still be considered a woman. I don't think I made it, but I presented my brand that way,
Okay.
as if, like, you could be as comfortable as you wanna be, and wear streetwear. You could probably wear men's clothes, and you still are a woman, and it is okay. Uh, yeah.
So you mentioned photography,
Mhm.
that you did that at one point. Are you gonna get back into that, or have you completely moved from that lane altogether?
So photography, I have considered bringing it back.
Mhm.
If I do, I would probably bring it back to doing just products
Okay.
and just commercial photography. I am currently doing photography for my clients that I build websites for. And I do the photography for that because I want to create all the content because I control all the aesthetics when I do all of that work.
Okay.
Yes.
In business, I know a lot of people think too, again, going back to social media, we see the high points. I made $10,000 in one day off my product. How have you been able to deal with the success and the failures that come with your business?
Whew. Um, So the success feels good.
Okay.
You walk around with your head held high and you like, yes, I did that. The failures can come and make you feel like everything that you built was not successful,
Mhm.
even with the high. There was a time when I had, a 6-figure year, and then I'm in the red,
Mhm.
and this is like the next year, I'm like, what's going on? And it can be discouraging, but you have to just keep going.
Mhm.
So I'm currently in the process of pivoting.
Okay.
So No Definition was a streetwear brand, and it was selling mostly t-shirts, and some accessories. I am now currently changing No Definition into a lifestyle brand focusing on what I do as an artist. So it would be everything and all of my offerings. So you might get some digital illustration.
Okay.
You might get, I might sew a dress. You might see a jewelry piece that I make. Who knows? I might release some music. I don't know. So it's just one of those things. This is going to be my newsletter of all the things I love to do.
And so with your brand, No Definition, any of your pieces you're wearing today, is it from your brand?
Yes, actually, my beret that I have on
And let them see the word
it
crown.
is one of my signature pieces. It's my crown beret that I created a few years ago. This shirt is a new piece that I created. Is I Am Rose, and this and it's in dedication to my mother. My mother's name is Rosie, and at one point in my life, I would wear a rose brooch whenever I did anything that I felt was a great accomplishment.
Mhm.
So when I got my bachelor's degree, I wore a brooch. When I got my master's degree, I wore a brooch. When I married my husband, there was a brooch around. So roses are always symbolic around this kind of representation of my mother. And one of the first shirts I made ever was My Roses Are Blue, and it was a blue shirt that I designed in memory of her because blue was her favorite color. But this shirt I made because I have been on this journey of
Mhm.
rediscovering my womanhood,
Okay.
been trying to reconnect with her and trying to bring up those memories, as I said before, of my
Mhm.
mother. Because I do feel that void. And it's like, I can't talk to her right now, but I can remember her.
Exactly.
So I am doing some things to just to conjure up her spirit a little bit so that I can at least feel close to her for a moment.
I love that you're honoring her and that you're keeping her alive and her with you at all times. And I know you have a daughter. How have you created womanhood with your daughter to where she can see what may have been missing with your mom? She can actually see that in you. How are you passing that down to her?
Oh, I tell my daughter everything, especially with this perimenopause. We talk. I'm like, I ain't trying to scare you, but I just want you to know because I came into this blind.
Mhm.
Another thing we like to do is we go to concerts together.
Okay.
We do like especially Beyonce. We
So
have
y'all went to Beyonce.
we do Beyonce concerts
Mhm.
together. We do Meg Thee Stallion. Like we always find girl concerts to go through,
Yeah.
especially. And it's just one of those things where we just have a really good relationship. Me and my daughter are I was 17 when she was born.
Okay.
So we're, not close in age, but close enough to the point where I can sit and just lay up and we could just talk to each other like
Mhm.
girlfriends at times. And with her being 27 years old, we were able to develop that type of relationship. By the time she was like, you know, 18-ish, where we
Mhm.
kind of was able to be a little bit more open. But now I'm sitting here thinking back, my daughter was very transparent with me when she was younger. She used to always be like, Mom, you're my best friend. And I think she really did take that
Mhm.
for a while to heart. And she has always told me things that, I don't know if other daughters tell their mothers some of the things that she has told me, but I'm grateful to have that type of relationship with her because it tells me that she trusts me. And I did a good job.
That you're doing an amazing job, that you did something right, you're
Mhm.
still doing something right. Um, it's a blessing, a huge blessing to have that close of a relationship with your mother even into adulthood.
Mhm.
So from one mom to another, great job, mama.
Thank
Great
you.
job, great job, great job. Okay. So, I wanna go back to your business again.
Mhm.
Mentoring. Have you been mentoring other Black women, as they walk into business? I know when I started, I didn't have anybody to go to. I was just out there on my own making mistakes, no one to correct me or to help me. Are you serving as a mentor? Because I'm sure the ladies would love to come sit with you and learn.
You know what? I wouldn't say no to that answer
Okay.
because I believe I have offered advice and mentored some people, probably not, formally.
Mhm.
But I'm one of those people, like, I like to share information. So if I see someone doing something and I know I can share
Mhm.
something with them that's going to help them, I'm gonna jump in their inbox, be like, "Hey, girl, do this," and
Mhm.
whether they like it or not. I do know that sometimes unsolicited advice is not something that people welcome,
But it's
but
needed sometimes. And that's why I asked you that,
yeah.
because we've been connected for so long and I've seen the great things that you've done. Like, I've seen the brands, I've seen the photography, I've seen it all. And so I know if you tell me something, you know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
So I'm going to listen. I may not do it right now, but it's always in the back of my head. And so
Right.
I think someone like you being a mentor, especially to the younger generation who are walking into womanhood and balancing all these aspects of life. I can't talk today for some reason. Balancing all these areas of life.
Mhm.
I just think it would be a blessing
Yeah.
to get that knowledge
Mhm.
and that lived experience.
Yeah. So that's actually something that I've been pondering for my legacy work.
That was gonna lead to my next question, but go ahead, talk about the legacy.
Yeah. So, I'm 45. Like, folks don't live forever.
Mhm.
And when you get to a certain age, you start to think about what am I going to leave behind?
Mm.
Or even trying to find purpose in sharing. Because it was at one point in time in social media, I just stopped it. I was like, I don't even know why I'm sharing on social media anymore.
Mm.
I kind of got discouraged. But one of the ways I brought myself back was like, you're leaving a legacy. So everything that you share is being documented. So what you share can be left for someone else in the future. So I was starting to be mindful of what I share and what I post, but also not sitting on stuff. Like, if I have an idea or if I have a thought that I think is helpful for somebody, I write it. To
Mhm.
be honest, I write it. I'm working on posting it.
Okay.
But at least I get it out and I write it, and I am working on trying to figure out the best way to present it to the public so that it will be received well. Another thing that I have considered is that, you know what, I've been an auntie for a very long time. My
Mhm.
oldest niece was born when I was 12.
Oh.
So I'm like, you know what? I think I'll just be an auntie in the community and just start sharing stuff with kids and the younger people. So I am working on the best ways for me to present that.
Okay.
And just, I would love to just be able to pass my knowledge on. And if I can help someone find ways to make money with their creativity,
Mhm.
that would be the best gift for me because I know that I'm using my purpose for good.
Okay. So, you're 66 years old.
Mhm.
What does that legacy look like? Or if you could sum what you would want your legacy to look like when you're 66 or 86 or 100, what would that word be?
Ooh, I would probably be a renowned filmmaker
I know
by
that's
that
right.
time, who has traced her genealogy back to Africa and wrote a book about it. That's probably what I see. Seriously.
I love that.
So,
I love that. Okay. Now let's go into some quick fire
mhm.
questions, okay? One word to describe the woman that you've become.
Mm. I don't know. The first word that popped in my mind was alluring, and I don't even know why that came up, but
Okay,
that's
because it's
the
in you.
that's what came up. So
Okay.
I'm going to say alluring, and I can probably describe that as best as being, um, you know, I think I'm a little mysterious.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that.
I'm a little mysterious, and then I'm kind of one of those people who's like, yeah,
Mhm.
I consider myself a little sexy, so I could see that. But we going rapid fire. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna give you what's on top of my mind. It's gonna be the best way for me to get it out.
What's a food that you still crave from your hometown?
Hillary's barbecue.
Okay. Tell us about Hillary's because I've never heard of Hillary's.
Hillary's is a North Chicago staple, and it is barbecue from Mr. Hillary. He passed away, but his family owns the business, and the barbecue sauce is a vinegar base, which is interesting for some people. It's very not Memphis barbecue. Neither is, I think it's Kansas City barbecue. It's very original, and I haven't tasted it anywhere in the world except for at home. So I'll probably be having somebody ship me a gallon of Hillary sauce.
Okay, y'all, Hillary's, ship me some too. I want to try that, honey. What's a Memphis experience that surprised you since you've been here?
That has surprised me?
Because I know right now anybody who may be listening or viewing, everyone's talking about how terrible Memphis is. And for me, the lived experience has been different.
Well, Memphis is fun, first of all.
Yes.
I love Memphis. There's always something to do. The thing that probably surprises me the most is that people say there's nothing to do in Memphis because I'm like, what? Where do y'all be at? So I have so much fun here. I don't think there's anything that has been surprising as far as entertainment. I just know I could step outside and just go anywhere. And I think that's the best part about it. The surprising part is you can find stuff to do all the time. So
you truly can.
Yeah.
You truly can. What's the best experience, the best advice you've received from a woman about womanhood?
The best advice I've received for a woman about womanhood: how to put on a bra.
Wait a minute.
Well,
go back. Okay, explain.
My sister taught me how to put on a bra.
Okay.
And she taught me to put it on inside out and upside down. And that was the best advice ever because...
Inside out.
And upside down.
And upside down. So is it like when you strap it and then turn it around? Okay. Okay. So I know some ladies, they step into the bra, some go over their head.
Nope. Just put it on inside out, upside down, and backwards. So backwards, inside out, upside down.
Okay, that would be the best advice.
Yep.
Yes. What's a song that would describe your journey in life so far?
One of my favorite songs is Closer to My Dreams by Goapoli. And I think that will always probably describe my life. I am continuously evolving. I'm always doing something different. And I'm always chasing a dream. So
I love that. What else you want to tell the people? If we miss anything, what do you want the people to know about you?
About me?
Yes.
That I am just a laid-back, chill chick who likes to move in the shadows and observe people.
Well, you're definitely moving in those shadows, and those moves are being felt 110%.
Okay.
And I want to thank you again for coming to Ladies Let's Talk Business. I truly appreciate it. Tell the people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on social media by searching my name, Charlisha Renata, spelled CharlishaRen as in Nancy, ATA. That's also my website. And if you want to look at my lifestyle brand, No Definition, it is KNOW definition.com.
And we'll make sure we have all the links on social media and on YouTube so they can click those links and find out more about you. Thank you so much. And thank you, listeners and viewers, for joining us for this episode of Ladies Let's Talk Business. I'll see you next time when we will talk business again. Bye. Good job.